Welcome. I'm gonna get even more vulnerable with y'all. There's so many people that feel like, oh, you don't have autism. I think how people look at autism or extreme cases of autism, they try to compare that to me. Like, so then they're like, oh, you don't do these things, so you're not autistic. Or they'll compare me as an adult to a kid. Yeah. And I've learned to mask really, really well. I wasn't gonna tell this story, but I'm gonna tell it. So a few months back, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of lonely, like staying in Atlanta. So I was looking for friends. Like, granted, I have my uncle here. I was gonna say family, but I just have him. You know what I mean? I have my uncle, my husband, and the kids, which they're obviously my family too, but y'all know what I mean. Like, I don't have like family like, my mom, my dad, that type of situation. And there's this app called like BFF. I met this girl and like she seems so cool. Like, nothing's wrong with her or nothing like that. I don't want it to like sound like that. She really is like peaceful. She's chilled, she's ambitious, like, and she's a pretty girl. And I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we'll have some of the same interests and stuff like that. So the conversations on the app was going pretty well, right? So we ended up texting and like she seemed so cool. But she was like, do you feel comfortable getting on FaceTime? Which I don't like to get on FaceTime. I honestly don't really like video calls. I don't tell people this, but I don't like video calls because you're staring into each other's face. And to me, that's always been so weird. I absolutely hate eye contact. For instance, if I look at your eyes, I instantly go to your nose because you're not gonna know that I'm not making eye contact. You know what I mean? Well, you'll know now because it's fucking video. We get on FaceTime and stuff, and like she was telling me she's a therapist, which I was like, great. That's what I need right now. Fucking I ain't gonna lie, I really was nervous after that because I'm like, is she gonna see something in me? Like, cause I can mask. Like I said, I can mask really, really well. But I feel like as a therapist, you're trained to see through all of that BS. You are. Like a regular person, I could easily just act normal. Like, that sounds so fucked up, but it's not necessarily acting normal, but it's like I'll watch how people like interact, or how you talk, how you walk, how you know what I mean? Like what I feel like you would probably say in a conversation. So that way I can be able to mimic those things. So I'm talking to her and we having a good conversation. I mean, we was on the phone for at least 2 hours. Like, that's how good the conversation was. Like, and next thing I know, she just was like, this is why I love meeting people who are on the spectrum. And I'm like, I never told you I was on the spectrum. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, I've been diagnosed with anxiety and ADHD. And some of the depression and shit, but I don't really know if I have depression. Like, I do have my moments, but it's not as heightened as all the other traits, okay? So I was like, I've been diagnosed with those. I've never been diagnosed with autism. I've had situations where one of my friends asked me that I have autism. And I have taken autism like quizzes, like the I think it's called autism quotient, something like that test. When I tell you I've taken so many tests, and like they're not like just regular quizzes on social media. Like, they're like from therapists. But and my scores be significantly high, like in the hundreds. And I'm like, okay. Having ADHD and having anxiety it has so many same traits as autism. I'm gonna break down into what's different about them in a few, but with her saying that, She was like, no, you're definitely on the spectrum. I can tell. She was like, and don't take that in a mean way or anything, because I'm not in my professional, state. I'm talking as a friend. She was like, but I can see, like, just, off of your mannerisms and, just how you talk about things, just different things, I can tell. And I believe that's why she wanted to FaceTime. Because had we talked on the phone, she wouldn't have knew. She wouldn't have knew. Anyways, me and her don't talk anymore, though. And we don't talk anymore because, okay, so this is probably not going to be a big deal for y'all, but she wanted to meet up at a museum. I love museums. Like, I love to learn. Anything where I'm learning, like, that's amazing to me. I don't like lounges. I don't like clubs. I don't like places where it's really loud. It's a lot of people. I don't like it. Like, I like libraries. I like painting. I like drawing. I like, like, let's go out somewhere like that. Or even pottery and stuff. Like, I just like peaceful things. But anyways, the museum was not the issue. So she wanted to go to the museum, but she wanted to do like a scavenger hunt. That's terrifying for me because I don't know you, and like, you want to meet up to separate, and there's going to be people everywhere. Once we finish the scavenger hunt, you want to like walk a few blocks down and go get something to eat. And like, that's me walking away from the place that you told me to meet up at, right? And so now I'm away from everybody else and I'm just with you and I don't know you. And I probably would have done it had we talked more. So for her, she was like, she doesn't really want to talk on the phone as much. She would rather see each other in person. I don't just meet people in person. You know what I mean? Like, I have to talk to you. I have to get to know you. There's stages and levels to being my friend. And I don't know if that has anything to do with the autism, the anxiety. This is just me telling you, like, I have stages because it's hard for me. Like, it's really, really hard for me. So immediately after she told me those things, I never responded. So like, we didn't have like a fallout or nothing like that. Like, I'm not mad at her. I hope she's not mad at me. I don't know how she feels and I can't like talk. I mean, obviously I can't answer for her, but yeah, we're not friends anymore. But yeah, so that was that. Okay, so I had another situation. This is so embarrassing. So I was at work and like, my manager was just like, he was like, it's so great to see you today and thanks for coming in. And I was just like, okay. I literally like walked to my, my little area and stuff. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just thinking, like, when I say thinking, like, I'm thinking hard on this. And I'm just like, I was supposed to say it was nice to see you too. And I didn't say that. Like, and I'm like, he's gonna think that I'm a bitch. No, he's probably not even thinking that. But this is just me. So I'm standing there. I can't even work because I'm just like thinking so hard on this. And so I eventually went back up there and I was like, hey, I'm sorry. I was like, I was not trying to say okay when you said that. Like, I meant to say it's nice to see you too. And he was just like, oh, I wasn't even thinking about it. And I'm like, fuck. Bro, like, it's so freaking embarrassing because I could have just left it alone. You know what I mean? But I'm like, that was not a good interaction. Had another situation. Normally when we go out somewhere, Quentin is in the front. I always make sure he's in the front because I'm like, okay, people are gonna talk. We already know this. Like, no matter where we go, somebody's gonna say something. So we were at the mall. He was in the front, but I started walking a little bit too fast and I started to get in front of him a little bit. And the lady in Hot Topic or whatever, which I love Hot Topic. Like, that's one of my favorite stores. I love Hot Topic so much. But the lady in Hot Topic was just like, So she said, what brings you guys in today? And I was just like, I honestly don't know. She started laughing. And the whole time she's laughing, I was like, I really didn't understand what was funny about it. So I came home, I talked to my uncle about it, and I was just like, what did I say that was funny with that situation? And he was like, well, most of the time, like, people either say I'm looking around, I'm just looking or whatever, I'm browsing, or I'm getting some pants, like they usually have an explanation. But for me, I honestly did not know. And so, like, I said exactly what I was thinking. I had another situation. Our manager would tell us what section we're supposed to go to, right? So I'm in the midst of finding that section. And it was one of my coworkers. She's so sweet though. She's so sweet. She always speaks to me. She's always like, hey, beautiful, this and that. And like, I'm always like, hey, how are you doing? On this particular day, she was speaking, right? She was like, hey, beautiful. But she came in and hugged me. And I don't hug people. Like, for me, even with my friends and my family, I don't just hug them. Like, it has to be a long time. Like, if we haven't seen each other in a long time, I'll be like, okay, we should probably hug each other because it's been a while. That's literally how my brain works. Strangers, I don't hug you, like, at all. Like, don't hug me, like, just don't. I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with hugs. Like, I will hug you, even if you're a stranger and you hug me and I feel like you're extremely happy and stuff like that, I'll hug you out of that. But it's just like, I don't like hugs like that. It makes me very, very uncomfortable. She came in, she hugged me, and I wasn't hugging her back. So I was just standing like, and then I said, I'm in the wrong place. In the middle of her hugging me, I literally said that. And she just started laughing. And I didn't know how to explain, like, okay, so I was already doing something. You know what I mean? I'm already trying to find this place. And then you hug me, which already makes me uncomfortable. But I don't know how to explain to you that that makes me uncomfortable because, like I said, I feel like it's not normal. I feel like people do hug each other, a lot. Like, I see people do it, like, even at work. And I'm sure they don't know each other a whole lot. But, like, they'll be like, hey, girl, hug or something. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't do that. I'm going to some of the specifics of the things that I have and how I know that I have autism. Certain textures bother me. And that's why I don't really care about, like, how I dress. I have to be comfortable. Like, there's so many outfits that can be really, really cute. But when I touch, like, if I touch it, like the fabric, I can't wear it because I don't like how it feels. Like, that bothers me a lot. And I don't know if, like, other people have this, but I don't like that. Like, I don't like certain, like, feelings on my fingers. Also, like, with food. So some people will call this picky, but it's more specific than that. I can't eat grits. I can't eat grits, not because they don't taste good. It's because, it's gritty. It's grits. You know what I mean? I don't like how it feels on my teeth. Even with, like, beef, sometimes it has gristle and stuff in it. And, like, I don't like that. I don't like gristle. So sometimes even when I get hamburgers, I'll take the meat off and I'll just eat, like, the vegetable and the cheese. And also, like, with sausages, I don't like the things inside the sausage. Like, I don't know what all is in it, but, like, I don't like how certain stuff looks or, like, feels, like, because I'm very specific about what I would eat and what I would not eat. And I don't go out of that. Like, it's usually the same thing. So this is another thing with my hands. And my bad, if I keep looking away, it's because I'm looking at my notes that I already wrote. As a kid, anytime I would, like, wash my hands, like, the soap and stuff, it would make my fingers feel weird. You see how I'm doing my hands? Like, I always do that. Or, like, when I get out the tub, like I'm like this. Like it used to be so bad as when I was a kid that I would literally run out of the bathroom and I'll be like, I'll just be doing this. And my parents immediately knew to grab the lotion. They would literally be ready with the lotion. Sometimes they would just leave the lotion in the bathroom because they're just like, I know she's going to be doing this. And like, even as an adult now I can kind of mask it a little bit. Like if I'm at work, obviously I'm not going to do this. But what I do at work, like, because their soap, I don't like their soap. I don't like how their soap feels. Some soaps are okay, but their soap, I'll literally just ball my hands up. So I'll be walking around with my hands balled. Which I know nobody pays attention to, I'm sure, but like I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like I hate how my hands feel with certain soaps. And so I'm guessing, but see, when I was a kid, it was all soap. It used to make my hands do that. And no, it wouldn't be because I got pruny or whatever. Because some people would be like, oh, maybe your hands is, no. I just didn't like it. I did not like it. Also, the wind. So like, say for instance, I'm in the car with Quentin, and Quentin always has the windows down. Like the sunroof and everything. I don't like how the wind blows on me. like it's almost like I can feel it in my hair. Like that's how much I don't like the wind. It literally terrifies me. I remember when I used to be in Augusta and like I'll go to the Riverwalk, and the Riverwalk was so beautiful. It was so peaceful. Like, you know, like it's something about nature that I love. When the wind would blow hard, it would literally make me have a panic attack. And like with certain people, I would just be trying to hold it in as best as I could. But like on the inside, I'm freaking out because the wind is blowing. And that's things that people I'm sure don't care about. But for me, the wind blowing extremely hard terrifies me. It just does. This is another one. I can't take too many people talking to me at one time. Like if it is, say, it don't even have to be a lot. It could just be 3 people. If 3 people are talking to me at once, I get very, very upset. Like, I naturally usually am a very calm person, but there's things that make me yell. Like, and that's one of them. I don't like when there's a lot of people talking to me. It makes me overly stimulated. Like, and I didn't used to know what it was, but a lot of that I recently found out has something to do with autism. I can't take in so much information and so many different like noises, like loud noises. Like y'all saw how I was about to do this, but yeah, I don't like that. Like don't. Like just don't. I hate it. I hate that. Also, I talk like a kid. Obviously not gonna do that because I'm on YouTube, but me naturally, in my natural state, I have a kid-like voice. And what I mean by that is my voice is very, hey. I sound like a kid. Often. That's just my normal voice. You know, like I know how to not do that on here because obviously, yeah, like on YouTube, and I don't want people to know that. But I mean, I guess y'all know now, but those are also signs of autism. So like people normally with autism, well, it depends because like I said, it's a spectrum. Some people have kid-like voices, you know, like, and it comes out a lot when I'm speaking to people. That I cannot hide at all. Like even when I'm talking to like, you know, my husband's like family and stuff like that, which is still my family, I'd be like, hey, you know, and I don't know how to say hey in a grown-up way. I guess like I could just say like how I just explained it to y'all and said hey, but it just doesn't sound right for me, like to me, because I know that's not how I talk. I know it's not really me. Like even how I'm talking now, I do talk like this, like as far as like at work and, you know, just out in public, but it's not my comfortable, it's not comfortable for me. Like my comfortable way of talking is very childlike. Um, Things about me, like how I dress, naturally can be childlike too. Like I love Karumi. So I have a ton of like Karumi shirts and Karumi jackets, and also like my plushies are always by my bed. Like these are my two favorite plushies. I think I showed y'all before in another video, so I don't have to do that right now, but um those can also be linked to autism. Not all the time. So don't think just because you do this that you are autistic or anything like that. I'm not telling you that. I'm not a therapist. Usually people with autism, we do love like, you know, just like kid like stuff. Like the wallpapers, like y'all see how in the back, you know, like I love it. But this isn't even scratching the surface, because like once I'm able to do it, I'm gonna have so many like different colors, and just like Karumi's gonna be everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be amazing. Like most people, obviously when they're in their 30s, everything's so like serious, you know, so fucking serious. And I'm not like that. So yeah, another trait of autism. Not saying you have autism. I'm just saying it's a trait. So remember how I told y'all that I'm very honest? Another sign of autism. My mouth can be very, very blunt. I don't know how to lie. And even if I did know how to lie, in my mind, it's wrong, you know? So like, I just tell you how I feel, how I'm thinking about something. Even if you are my friend, I can try to soften it. I can soften it, but I'm not going to tell you a lie. I get overly stimulated sometimes in my friendships. Well, a lot of the times. My friends, sometimes they like to talk a lot. And I can't talk all day. I don't like to talk all day. I don't like to talk every day. Sometimes I don't like to talk. It could be weeks. It could be months. I get very overstimulated. I like to be by myself. And even when I say by myself, it's not like necessarily just me by myself, but like just me and my little family, you know, like, damn, I don't know how to say it. I don't really like to talk to my friends all the time. I do love them a lot, like, but I just need a break. Like sometimes, if it's a lot of, if they're having like a lot of problems, or if it's like they just want to talk a lot, that bothers me. Like it's just a lot for me. It's a lot, you know? So I get overly, like I said, overly stimulated. And then I get so overly stimulated that I'm depressed. And see, that's where the depression comes in, like, because I'm talking too much, you know? I also bite the sides of my fingers. Like the meat, I bite that. Cause like, I like the pain of like biting the sides of my fingers, but I also found out that's part of autism as well, biting the sides of your fingers. Not biting your nails. I do bite my nails too, but I bite the sides of my fingers. So yeah, that's another thing that I do that could be a sign of autism. When I cry, it is extreme. So it's not like, it's one of two ways. I have two ways. So it's either one where I'm just, tears are coming out and I'm not making any noise at all. Like, and I'm just processing the whole time that I'm crying, or it is very, very hysterical. Like to the point where I'm having a panic attack. So like when I'm crying about something and it really, really bothers me, I can't even explain it. It's like the world is ending, kind of like crying. Like it's almost like, oof, it's gonna sound so bad, but I would have to compare it to when my kids cry, and I'm an adult, you know what I mean? So I shouldn't be crying like this, but that is also a sign of autism. Like we usually have really bad meltdowns. Like it's extreme. And my husband has to calm me down. That's how bad it gets. Oh, Lord, let's get into it. Kissing. I don't like tongue kissing. I don't like it at all. Like, don't put your tongue in my mouth. I feel like tongues are very gross. I think they're slimy. I don't like them. I don't tongue kiss. I don't like kissing at all, really. But for my husband, yes, because that's my husband and I love him, you know? Also, I take things, remember I said before, I take things very literally. I do. So that does not just apply to what I take in. It could be like a dad joke. I don't get dad jokes. I don't get sarcasm. I don't understand them. So, and my husband always has a dad joke. And I'm just like, I don't get it. And then he'll get upset because I'm not laughing. Like, I don't understand. Oh, also, everything has to be equal. So that's another thing. Like, if you kiss me on the cheek one time, I have to kiss you on the cheek one time. If you kiss me on the cheek 3 times, I have to kiss you on the cheek 3 times. Like, as a kid, I used to always do this. And if the person didn't let me kiss them, it bothered me so bad. And I would, like, freak out. But now it's like, if my husband kisses me, like, if he's kissing on my face and stuff, which that bothers me too. Don't kiss all over my face. But, like, at first it's cute. I like it at first, you know, until it's too much. But then, like, also I'll start kissing on his face. And I have to kiss him at least, even if I can't, like, I can try to control it a little bit now. But I usually like to try to kiss the same amount. Or, like, with my deodorant. When I put my deodorant on, I have to count. And it has to be the same side on one side and then the same side on the next side. Like, it has to be the same. Like, everything has to be the same. The volume, like, it has to be even numbers. Like, it can't be an odd number. Like, it has to align a certain way. Also, if I'm straightening something, it has to be a certain pattern. Last but not fucking least, this is something that I really, really hate about myself. I talk over people. And it's simply because I don't understand or I don't know when that person is done talking. So then I'll end up talking, and it's because, like, I don't know if they're done with their part of the conversation. And so now I'm trying to figure that out. But in the midst of me figuring that out, I'm talking over them. And so then the conversation kind of goes like, they're saying something and then I talk over them and then I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. What were you going to say? And then they say something and then I say something and I'm like, I'm sorry. What were you saying? I'm sorry. And so now I'm saying I'm sorry so much. And I'm just like, yeah, this video is longer than I actually wanted it to be, but those are some of the traits that I have with autism. Back in the 90s, like, they did not test for autism, like, at all, unless it was extreme. Even in the Black community, it was not. It definitely, like, your parents are not finna get you tested for autism. It's just not, it's unheard of. My parents still, now that I am 32, and I've told them about, you know, what my she was not my damn therapist. What my therapist friend said, they don't believe it. Like, they're still like, no, but I mean, yeah, you have certain things, but I don't know. I don't think so. Like, yeah, they don't want to believe that. And I get it. But it's like, that does not help me. You know what I mean? Like, it helps me by you taking that information in and seeing how you can help me. You know what I mean? Like, it's not much you can do now that I'm grown, but just at least understand me more, you know? Also, it is hard to detect in women because we are really good at covering it up. Usually with little boys or just men in general, they have usually very extreme cases of autism. And so, like, you can pretty much tell with them. Like, certain things y'all didn't even know today until I told y'all. Because it's stuff that I know about me. Obviously, you know, that's everybody. You know certain things about yourself that you may not feel comfortable sharing with people. And I did not feel comfortable sharing this stuff with y'all, but you know, y'all are my family, and I do love to let y'all know like what I'm going through and my thought process. But also, it's for the people that don't believe that I have it. And so I'm just like, okay, let me go a little bit deeper, because me just sitting up here letting y'all know how I feel or what I'm thinking is obviously not enough. Which, granted, I don't need y'all's approval. Like, don't take that the wrong way. Don't take that the wrong way. But I know myself, you know. So even before the girl, you know, that I met that ended up being a therapist came into my life, I already knew I was different. And I knew it was more than just me being anxious. And I knew it was deeper than just anxiety, because I have friends that have anxiety and they act nothing like me. So I already knew I was different. And it's not a bad thing. Like, I love myself, and it helped me understand myself better, you know? But yeah, like, I didn't mean to make this so serious, but yeah, like just please stop telling people, I don't think you're autistic. Because that, you may think that you're making them feel better, but if they feel like that, like they truly have autistic traits, you could at least just tell them, go try to get a diagnosis, you know, and then maybe you have it, you know, but just see first, go see. That's better than being like, oh no, you're not autistic. You know, my nephew is autistic, or, you know, my daughter is autistic, or like I've been around people that was like, don't. It's a spectrum. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below. Share this video. I hope y'all been having a wonderful week, wonderful months, years, all that shit. I love you guys so freaking much. My camera died. But yeah, I love you guys so freaking much, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Talking crazy, you know what it must like.